Better get ready, better get ready. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we're showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Raise up a white flag. Didn't come this far just to turn back. The curtains fall for the last act. Breaking that levee, breaking that levee. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we're showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we're showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary.
It's explosive. You can't control this, no. I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on the battlefield, a survivor never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race on Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new Click It RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at Click It RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
LSRTV, your home for sim racing, welcomes you to the FEG PC Custom Wednesday Night Money Wildcard Series. We are ready to go for 9 exciting weeks of super speedway racing. Talladega to Daytona, back to Talladega, back to Daytona again. At the end of 9 weeks, almost $5,000 will be distributed in a shootout sprint dual dash series where it's all about bragging rights, and we're excited to bring it to you on your home for sim racing, LSR TV. Good evening, I am Wesley Outland, joined alongside is Jason Rockefeller. We will be the voices along the journey every Wednesday night for this new series presented by FEG PC. And of course, that's the FEG CustomPC.com for more information. Jason, love, I say this all the time, bud, and you know how antsy and excited I get when we call iRacing. We love Daytona. We love Talladega. There's something about super speedway racing that is always fun every time any of our races on our series calendars. When we know we're going to those places, we get giddy with excitement. We know they're going to be intense. We know they're going to be wild. You never know what the outcome's going to be. Now, if that wasn't enough, my friend, we've got a weekly championship super speedway series every Wednesday night now to look forward to 10 weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this FEG PC series. This is going to be a lot of fun. I remember when Charles told us about this, I was like, hey, this is pretty neat. I got in and I saw obviously all the rules, all the changes, the drivers, everybody that was interested. I'm looking forward to this, man. It's going to be fun. And the fact that it's on a super speedway obviously means there's going to be a lot of chaos and a lot of drama out here today.
Going to be really exciting real fast for sure. Let's take a look at how the format will go, presented by HuntTheFront.tv for the race analysis and the race information. There is no fast. We do a lot of iRacing where usually there might be a fast repair or two. There's no fast repair. These drivers will be on a 50% fuel capacity, which means that they literally will have to cut the distance in half on when they can make green flag pit stops. They do have unlimited tires, though. and there'll be 2 attempts at overtime, a green-white checker if need be, if we go past the 35-lap distance, okay? So there's kind of a little sample, if you will, of what the format will be. Race information is presented, as always, by Hunt the Front TV. Kaufman Creative Weather Conditions, Talladega, baby. 79 degrees, track temp 84. In the sim, partly cloudy skies, wind speed at 2 miles an hour. Jason, this is just a perfect virtual day for racing at Talladega, bud.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. Obviously, the track temperature is pretty much, in a sense, the best it can be. It's got a little bit of heat in it, going to create some slick moments out there, especially for these guys when they're going through the turns, and especially that treacherous tri-oval, both at Daytona and Talladega. The tri-oval can be the fastest part here on this 2.66 mile super speedway. So it's going to be interesting. Obviously, nothing that's really going to hinder this race with the weather conditions drastically, but definitely a perfect day here in the sim for sure.
I can tell you that we're mere 3 minutes away from the field being introduced for this inaugural for LSRTV's coverage of the FEG PC Wednesday Night Wild Series. And obviously, I know Charles Wooten's very, very excited about this. Are very excited about it. And honestly, Jason, there's some names that come to mind that I think of now that I look at the scoring pylon on time and scoring in front of me. Toby Ritters from the Northwest Series, obviously the penultimate race for the Northwest Click It RV Fix Series coming up later tonight on LSRTV and CRN beginning at 11:15 Eastern Time. I also look at Brandon Broadfoot. He's a name that I know from the NASRA ranks on Monday and Friday calling races. And then there's Jason McCullough, Kenneth McCullough, some big iRacing events I've called in the past recently. Their names have popped in here. So the who's who of iRacing and a lot of leagues we cover are drivers that are a part of this event here, Jason.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, obviously, and not to mention the fact, too, that pretty much any one of these guys has an opportunity as long as they can keep their head on their shoulders and also on a swivel tonight here at the virtual Talladega Super Speedway, because this is a racetrack, Wesley, that everybody knows if you are a stock car racing fan, and especially a sim racing fan, that anybody can win here tonight.
Yeah, it's just shy of 100 miles, the distance, 35 laps on the 2.66 mile facility. That's shy of 94 miles, the distance of what they will go here. And here's the thing that's really so exciting. It reminds me of the duels or the dash races of the past at the super speedways. This is exactly what this series is going to entail, Jason. You're literally going to go out there. You're going to get on the gas. You're going to have to be very smart. You got to be very productive, fast. You cannot dilly-dally around. You might have some strategy, maybe to hang in the back. You lose the foresight of needing to be up in the front quickly, because if you do, time will run out. These races, I promise you, though it's a big 2.66 mile track tonight, 2.5 miles at Daytona, we see how fast these trucks get. They pick up speed. These laps will fly by if you're not careful, and you're out of the running of a chance to win a race.
Yeah, I've gotten a few wins here at Talladega in the trucks, and this is the exact distance pretty much of what an official fixed race would be for what we know as the C-Fix stuff. That's what the truck is deemed here on iRacing, is the C-Fix or the Fix C series. So with that being said, I mean, you're going to have a little bit of time to be in line, be patient, but you got to remember that these races go by very quickly. There were times here at Talladega, Wesley, where I would be done with a 35-lap feature here on the official side of things in just 45 minutes to an hour. So that's not a lot of time. These guys are going to be going really, really fast, obviously over 185 miles an hour. But with that being said, you're going to have to plan your runs methodically. You're going to have to obviously be patient. I know 35 laps is not a huge amount of time to get up towards the front, but with the car count we have, we probably should see a lot of great action out here tonight.
And by the way, don't forget as well that, again, this is a series that this is what they specialize in. Multiple weeks, almost 9 weeks in total, of these guys going back and forth for these dual races, as you mentioned here. Dashes, I think, is the word I want to try to find the opportunity to use for these events at Daytona, Talladega, and obviously, again, Daytona, Talladega next week, and so much more as we get these guys ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, ready for the field to go through what is their final practice sessions. Now it looks like qualifying is about to be hitting the racetrack in just a moment, and then they're quickly going to be going on Speedway. Let's look at some of the stars and virtual stars. As I mentioned, Jason McCullough, the number 05 machine, one of those drivers that you better not take for granted. He's really talented. I've seen him be in the cusp of some really, really big iRacing events. Obviously very festive with his Halloween skull on the front of the hood. The tailgate of the truck has got, of course, Bart from The Simpsons as well. So you can definitely see what kind of personality Joshua McCullough has. And Jason just looking at his truck for sure.
Yeah, definitely a little funny there, especially out on the deck lid, if you notice what it is. But hey, that's the thing about this series. These guys are out here to have a lot of fun. They're here to race for some money. They're here to have a great time, obviously. But you gotta obviously keep your truck in one piece if you want to make sure that you can get to the end of this race, Wesley. Because remember, no fast repairs. That's a huge thing. You have to treat this race exactly like an official race, because even in officials, we don't get a fast repair in official races. So you have to make sure that you keep this truck good, keep this truck clean, and make sure it gets to the end.
Joshua McCullough, we'll see how he does here in qualifying. Again, $4,640 total payouts up for grabs, including $1,600 in the championship race. That is phenomenal. 9 races in the season 8 for, of course, the FEG PC Custom.com series. We're looking forward to bringing it as the Wednesday Night Super Series. And right now, qualifying on track again. We look forward to bringing this to you from, of course, now starting in November all the way till the first week of January. That's how it rolls here. If you want to join us anytime, FEG setup again, 50% fuel, no fast repair, $20 weekly entry fee. Get signed up. And if you can't make it this week, join them next week. Payouts each week. Top 15 drivers running for the championship. And, of course, that's how it all rolls out for sure. As Joshua McCullough up in smoke as his lap is concluded. Here comes a guy we know from the world of NASRA, the Pulse Poppers number 10, Blanchard's Towing Chevrolet. This is Brandon Broadfoot, his Chevrolet coming to the line here, Jason.
Yeah, and he's going to use that dogleg, or not dogleg, but rather the tri-oval right below that double yellow line to make himself go up into the top 5 on the charts here. P5 for the driver of the number 10 machine there. And that's the thing that you can do here. There is no penalty for using that apron on the bottom when you come to the tri-oval. Remember back a few years ago, I remember back in 2015 for the Aaron's 499 at Talladega, drivers were allowed to cut through that tri-oval and go below the double yellow line. Sure, you could scrub off a little bit of speed, but if you can stick that thing just well enough, you might be able to pick up just a few thousandths of a second, a few hundredths possibly, by using that apron.
Yeah, always fun, exciting watching them now as they work their way here. And now another driver. There's Toby Ritters, and I love the fact, Jason, that he doesn't change his colors. Win Racing, of course, on the machine there. Click it RV, bomb speed, right there in the 23, but he's on time with his number 6. Toby Ritters, of course, one of the guys we know for the Northwest Series. And by the way, he'll be in action again tonight for the penultimate race of the Northwest Click It RV FEG Series.
Yeah, and obviously, too, you're seeing right here with Toby Ritters that he's listed as the number 6 right there, because this is a hosted session, so these drivers are all based off of with car numbers based on their iRating or their preferred number. And if you're lucky to get your preferred number, that's great. If not, you're Toby Ritters. You have the 6th highest iRating pretty much in here, so that's why he's driving that number 6 machine tonight on the scoring pile. But you see 23 out of the door. Gonna be a little confusing, but I'm used to this kind of stuff. Obviously, with the eNASCAR iRacing Road to Pro series, we have the same exact thing. Obviously, it is, these guys are based off of their iRating and preferred numbers, but obviously they drive different paint schemes, different numbers. So just a little heads up for tonight, but definitely should be a fun one here, regardless of what numbers we're seeing out of these trucks.
Watching all these drivers working their way. On the clock, the qualified time is running out. Toby Ritters is going to run the clock out, and I don't think he's going to be able to even finish the lap. As right now, that it concludes that includes the time, of course, going around there for these guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready now for the first ever time on LSRTV, Season 8 rolling. Here's your qualifiers of the way they go for 35 laps at Talladega. Kenneth McCullough Jr. on the pole. Matthew Baker alongside row number 1. Row 2, we'll find Sean Corbett in the 45. David Sheets in the 06. Row 3, Talladega, Jason McCullough in the 05. John Mollahan in the number 2. Row 4, we'll find Ron Morris Jr. and John Darnell III in the 99. Top 10, Jason, Donald Ray in the 75 and Mark Vondell, the 59. That'll start 10th.
Top 20 right here. Row number 6, you have Harrison Whitehead and Michael McLean in the number 3 machine. Row number 7, Blaine Dalton there in the number 7. Brandon Broadfoot in the number 10 machine that we saw earlier on in qualifying. Row number 8, Andrew Navarro right there in that number 42, one of the eNASCAR drivers on the contender side of things. And Kyler Wynn in the number 82 machine. Row number 9, you have Daniel Eberhardt, another driver from the eNASCAR side of things. And Damon Gilbert in the 68 machine. And then rounding out your top 20, Wesley, row number 10, Dylan Jones and John Ward in the 92.
Moving on to row number 11, Richard Elliott, the 02. Aubrey Thompson in the 38 machine. Row 12, Logan York in the 01. J.R. Miller in the 78 machine. Row 13, Toby Ritters. Clifford's going to be in the back, and Danny Barnes as well in the 12. 20, row 13. Row 14, Joseph Allen in the 23. Justin Mills in the 27. That's 28. Starting 29th, close to a 30 truck field to launch this new series is going to be Drew Richmond in the 81. This is the, again, FEG PC Wednesday Night Wild Super Speedway Series. And all I got to say is, from an Alabama fan to a Georgia driver, roll Tide, but go Dogs. do you even realize, Jason, how hard that was for me?
I can only imagine. I am not a college guy, but I can only imagine, because I know the rivalries. I know that most Alabama fans don't like the Georgia fans, and I know that most Georgia fans don't like the Alabama fans. But hey, that Bulldogs car looks, or truck rather, looks really good out front right there, Wesley. I hate to add more, I'll add more fuel to the fire.
Could break my heart more. Okay, good. All right, so we're on the course of these drivers making preliminary laps. They'll be ready to come to the green flag. By the way, don't forget, coming up at 11:15 Eastern Time, join us back, Jason and myself, LSR TV, where you're watching right now. If you want to listen on the radio, we have the MRN, PRN type style iRacing call on the Community Radio Network at wearecrn.com, 87.9 FM, 11:15 Eastern Time. We're live, the penultimate race for the Northwest Clicking RV Fix Series. We're ready now for this new era for your home for sim racing. Real quickly, let's see the race analysis one more time. 35 laps. Here it is. No fast repair. 50% fuel. Unlimited tires. 2 attempts at overtime if necessary. It should be exciting. It should be fun. Wednesday Night Thunder rolling all the way into January for the FEPC Wednesday Night Super Speedway program for iRacing. Here they come down into the triangle, ready for the field to come to the green flag. 2 by 2 by 2 into the Geico restart zone. Initial start. They're in the gas. Green's in the air. We're ready to go. And we're going to funnel out to turn number 1. Give Baker the lead on McCullough. Jason, they're going to go 2 by 2 as they rock and roll to turn 1.
2 by 2, and the top side right now is going to have this momentum with David Sheets pushing Matthew Baker in the 5 out to the front of the point. But here comes the inside lane. They're charging hard on the bottom. One truck out of line there, about 4th in line on the top side. He'll try to drop to the back while everybody funnels out down the back straightaway, heading for 3.
Everybody goes to the back straightaway now. McCullough up under attack, fell back to third. Now he's going to fight right back for the top spot where he started the race. We got all this going on with Baker, Corbett, all this happening 2 by 2, slicing, dicing. Corbett through the tribal. Sheets now gets up in there. It looks like they're fighting over the last lap on the first lap. Coming through to the tribal, put lap 1 on the board. Baker the leader as they go off into turn number 1 with 34 to go.
And we're going to see this 34 more times. You see Matthew Baker. He's going to jump down to the bottom of the racetrack, right in front of the 03 of Kenneth McCullough Jr. off turn number 2. He'll lead the line down on the bottom side. Here comes McCullough. He'll jump up to the top side in front of David Sheets. They work their way down the Alabama Gang super stretch.
Truck down the bottom of their apron. He pushes everyone up battle line. Everyone quickly on the binders in the middle of the pack as he tries to get back on course, losing ground. All this happens as they work into 3 and 4. McCullough now, the Bulldogs machine, up in front. Baker, Sheets, Corbett, Ward, top 5. They are 3 wide. 2, 3 rows in the early going on lap number 2 at Talladega.
3 by 3 by 3. Do you see the double box on your screen with the battle for the lead up top? And then the whole pack goes flying into one. Whoa, what a shot by John Ward. Went from the top down to the middle. Matthew Baker will travel from the middle down to the bottom. Everybody's scrambling for position, trying to figure out which lane they want to go with as they try to file back out. 3 wide down the back straightaway again.
Pick a camera, any camera. All this is live, by the way. They were 2 by 2 by 2, then 3 wide. Now they are back 2 by 2 and 3 wide again. 3 rows deep pack. It's been the cavalry. He's the conductor of this chaos and virtual speed mayhem on board.
Yeah, and right now, 2 drivers who are really making headway up at the front right now. John Ward going to the race lead up 19 spots, and Aubrey Thomas up 19 spots as well. In that 38 machine, those trucks are flying, but everybody kind of gets settled back in as they head into 1 on lap number 4. Everybody double wide, looking like a restart here at Talladega.
Back into corner number 1 and 2. Here they come down the Alabama Gang super straightaway. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. You gotta love the action. Baker, Ward, Thompson, McCullough behind them though. Here comes now the 05 of McCullough. Brandon Broadfoot, Mal, these guys trying to sneak in the top 10, and they're gonna try to go 3 wide to the top shelf out of 4.
3 wide, about 3-4 rows back behind the race leaders up on the top side there. They're going to get situated a little bit as the 5 of Matthew Baker. He'll jump up to the top. The 92 of John Ward through the middle tries to get it done. He will. They're 4 wide in the second, third row, putting the 5 of Matthew Baker through the trucker hole as they head for 3 by 3 by 3 by 3.
What a show they're putting on. They're not backing down already, believe it or not. 5 in of 35. We told you how exciting this series was going to be. Now they're 3 wide. Now they're 4 wide. 4 wide down the back straightaway at Talladega. And now they stay 3 wide as they climb the banking, working into the corner, and they're slicing and dicing on the virtual top and block the 3.
These guys are racing like it's the last lap because they know what's on the line. Remember, Wesley, first and second, $100 on the line. Third and fourth, get $50 for the both of those drivers. So the top 4 positions mean something to these guys. Everybody wants to make it to the front and stay at the front, but they also want to be worried of that troubled big one that's always looming here at Talladega.
Back off as they work into the corner. A lot of drivers now working from the bottom of the racetrack, working to the top of the speedway. Jason, we mentioned 50% fuel capacity. There's no fast repairs as you're looking literally inside and outside from the firewall of the engine as this driver is literally just right under the back end tandem drafting, bump drafting. The man in front of him, this is on board from the camera angle, Sean Corbett. Behind him, pick a driver. This is Thompson or McCullough, I believe. McCullough all a junk in his trunk as they work in the corner.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, Wesley, with this 50% fuel load with these guys, they're going to probably have to hit around the lap 15 mark, right at about the halfway point, which is a big deal. And if they keep racing like this, they're going to have to eventually get situated, figure out who's going to want to go to the bottom, who's going to be that first group to pit, that second group, third, fourth, and so on. You have to be really careful getting onto pit road at Talladega. We've seen it time and time again, whether it be the real world or the sim racing world. It is tough to slow down from going up from upwards 180, 185 miles an hour down to pit road speed off board down to the tri-oval.
You're on board with Brandon Broadfoot. He's up on the top shelf right now where Grandma hides the cookies from Grandpa and even his ditchers too. Off the corner out of turn 4 as they close in through the tri-oval. This is Brandon Broadfoot trying to make a move on Thompson, making a run after Corbett Ola to get to the lead. Look at the speed, powering up on the outside. Brave enough to take it to the top of the safer barrier. Helps behind him though. Here comes also the number 8 Lucas Oil Machine. He keeps him a push and a point to pace. They work in the corner into 2.
And you see this number 10 of Brandon Broadfoot trying to make that top lane work, just not enough momentum. Now the 92, John Ward got really squirrely coming out of turn number 2, nearly went around off the front bumper of that 38 of Aubrey Thompson, but as they head back into the corner, the top side's going to be clear, make that the first 3 trucks from the top jump down to the bottom. Now they're going to put another truck through the sucker hole. That's Brandon Broad, or rather I think Joshua McCullough, maybe another driver going through the sucker hole there in the middle while they fan out back to the front straightaway.
It is McCullough, Ward, Thompson, Corbett, McCullough, top 5. That's the 03 McCullough and the 05 McCullough. They work their way back off into the corner. A little contact in the back of the number 7-8 spot. Sheets, Broadfoot, Mullen. They get together. They hold it together. That's McLean correction as they work back into the corner. Right behind the top 7 single file. They are 3 wide off of 2.
And everybody on that bottom side, Wesley, is trying to get evened out, figuring out who they want to get in front of, who they want to try to match themselves up with to make sure they are ready to take that trip vacation time down to pit road, which we're going to see here in just a handful of laps as everybody tries to migrate to the bottom. Still double wide in the mid-pack, though a little bit of 3 wide action behind them, which is quickly going to get settled back to 2 wide. And here comes the first group, going to do the undercut. They're going to come down pit road, led by a few drivers, one of them being the number 42 of Andrew Navarro, and many, many other drivers following him as well.
Here comes the field working lap number 10. So literally, if you think about 100% fuel capacity, it would probably be around 20-25 laps, and then they'd have to come to the pit lane. Now, because it's 50%, I think this forced these drivers, Jason, to have to at least pit twice. We might even have to see them pit around lap number 15, or excuse me, lap around 20-25 to be the money stop. Meanwhile, all these other drivers on the top, as we're seeing pit stops continue, fighting, clawing, McCullough the leader as they work into 3 and 4. They don't show no signs of stopping off the corner.
And they're also showing absolutely no mercy to anybody following or falling out of the draft, out of their designated line. They were 4 wide through the center of 3 and 4. Now they get back to about 3 wide here down the start-finish line, hitting on lap number 11. 10 laps completed, and just a handful of more to go. And remember too, Wesley, with these pit stops too, they have unlimited tires, but with 35 laps being the distance, you're not going to need tires. So you're really just doing about a splash and go of gas and making sure you can get out of pit road, get lined up together like you see these drivers of, obviously, Andrew Navarro, Kyler Wynn, other drivers along as well. There's Daniel Eberhardt on the tail end of that pack. They're all going to stay single file and try to work with one another to try to make up some time for pitting early.
By the way, if you'd like to become a member, go to FEG, PC Leagues and Events on Facebook. Click the membership button to become a member of the series, and maybe you could be a part of the Wednesday night Super Speedway program. Green flag pit stops ongoing. Thompson is the leader. He's got the big lead over, of course, now Ward. Correction. Ward, Thompson, McCullough, McLean. They're right now your top 5. We're seeing green flag pit stops continuing for the first time as we're working a dozen laps in at Talladega. They're scattered all the way to the back straightaway.
Scattered, in fact, they are, but the first 2 rows, 2 by 2 by 2. Down the Alabama gang, super stretch heading for 3. I'm expecting these drivers probably on the bottom here, Wesley, to probably be pitting in just a couple more laps or so, maybe even right here off turn number 4. We're going to see who's going to come this time, possibly. It looks like nobody. So this pack all going to stay together. and they're going to work their way back into the tri-oval, and the number 92 of Ward, he'll jump up to the top side, give the bottom to Kenneth McCullough Jr. there as he gets a push right there on the bottom side with everybody now double wide for the first four rows into 1 and 2.
Watching all this going on again as they work their way. This is the FEG PC Leagues and Events Wednesday Night Super Speedway Series. Big money, almost $5,000 up for grabs in the next close to 10 weeks right now. We've got you covered on iRacing on LSRTV. And hold on, Ward to the lead. He got a bump trap shot there from Thompson. McCullough sneaks into that middle move, and here comes the count them as they work off the corner. Thompson thought about going high. He threw the block on Corbin and Dalton as they work the backstretch. Now here they come back to the travel. Back down to turn number 4. What was looking to be 2x2 finally happens behind the top 2. Here comes now a push. This is McLean. This is Dalton. They're going the lead forward into 2.
Yeah, and back down into the corner, you see Michael McLean there, and that Kyle Busch RCR Lucas Oil number 8, shown as the number 3 on your scoring pylon, trying to use that outside, gets a shove, nearly gets sideways there down the back straightaway, had a good push from Blaine Dalton off turn number 2. That's a place where you don't want to push, is on the right rear coming off turn number 2, but these guys know what they're doing. They're trying to push hard, and we're coming up to the halfway point here in just a couple laps, and everything's getting really intense as the first pack, they're going to head to pit road. One truck out of line, sliding though. I don't know if he got turned or not, but it could have been a big mess heading for pit road as they all file out onto the pit lane.
We're watching all this happen. We'll see if anything changes from a different camera angle. But here comes now with 20 laps to go. The pit's a fury of activity. A majority of everyone else coming in the lane. Do not, by the way, Jason, with a dash race, with a sprint like this, 20 to go, 15 in, you do not want to make any mistakes. And, of course, that could be done on pit road if you're not careful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You want to make sure that you have a clean entrance, a good pit stop in and out of the box as quick as you can, and you want to get lined up as quickly as you can. And this group, led by Andrew Navarro in that 42 machine, they did it just right because if you think about it, Wesley, when they came to the pits, they were all spread out, were in and out, got out of the pits, got lined up, and now you see Andrew Navarro, Kyler Wynn, Dylan Jones, Matthew Baker, Daniel Eberhardt. They're all single file, while here comes the third group coming into pits this time by. We're going to see if they can get a great exit like that first group did, because we all just saw that second group was definitely not very organized off pit road.
Yeah, you're right. Now coming to the line, 20 laps to go, by the way. And, of course, one driver missing the box, had to back up a spot because he overshot his pit box. And you see now 3 different sequences, 3 different races, 3 different packs. Here comes now Andrew Navarro. He is now your new leader in the number 42, name that I haven't mentioned since probably the COVID days when he used to run in the swag Super Speedway Outlaw Super Late Model Series. It's been a long time coming. Andrew Navarro, he's the leader in the 42. Kyle Wynn, Dylan Jones now the new top 3 as they are starting to pack up 5 wide, single file if you will, back into the corner, and these 5 drivers are going to try to make a run to the finish with 20 to go off turn 4.
And Andrew Navarro is a really, really good driver here on the sim. Won a handful of races in the eNASCAR iRacing Qualifier Series, and now competes in the eNASCAR Contender Series, trying to make the Coke Series. Also, Daniel Eberhardt, another driver from the Road to Pro scene. A few of these guys up here, and they're all single file. And they, remember, like I said, Wesley, they had a very good entrance, very good stops, and they all got out and were very organized like you usually see. And they got about a 4.5-second gap back to John Ward in that 92, who was the leader of that third group that came down, or rather the second group, I believe, that came down pit road. And now they got a lot of ground to make up, but they have to get single file, and they've got to be very even with each other.
Again, we welcome you to the FEG PC Wild Wednesday Money Racing Series, the Super Speedway Series. Tonight from Talladega iRacing on LSRTV, your home for Sim Racing and iRacing's coverage of this program for the next almost 10 weeks. I'm Wesley Outland. Jason Rockefeller is alongside. Charles Wooten is the man that is quiet but making all the production and the awesome sights and sounds happen here. 18 to go. Navarro leads their 5 drivers. But don't fret not, though. That second pack is storming full speed ahead as you can, Jason, down into turn number 3 to run down those 5 drivers. There's a look at them.
Yeah, and it's really now at this point, Wesley, really just kind of, you know, a waiting game. I mean, we have 18 laps to go. We've had green flag pit stops, and all the chaos has kind of really simmered down a lot with all the packs that have really came in together on the pits, or during the green flag pit cycle, and now you're seeing the 2 main packs. You see the first one, Andrew Navarro, the second one led by John Ward in the 92, and they have caught that first pack a little bit, but you see, you can't do something like that. John Ward now is going to the back of this field. They gained about 4 to 6 tenths of a second these last couple laps, with them going double wide just for a second. That is going to make them go about a tenth or 2 behind this first pack that's heading into 3.
So for the most part, things have actually kind of calmed it down, if you will. I gotta wonder though, Jason, could things storm back up again when this second group finds these drivers? Oh, and by the way, closing in on 15 to go. It's white knuckle time here at Talladega, and we might see another pit stop before the finish of the race.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about it. Probably another pit stops. I want to say those guys just wanted to pit right there and then. I mean, the possibility is always there, obviously. But I think they probably will be good to the end of this race. They already had that one stop with the 50% fuel load, so they have just enough to make it in the tank. Now, if you have a couple green-white checkers, that's a different story. You might have to start saving a little bit of fuel. Remember, Wesley, this is a 2.66-mile tri-oval super speedway. And when you're under caution, it takes a long time to get around here. Long straightaways, sweeping turns, a sweeping front stretch. You're going to have to save a little bit of fuel with a little bit of luck.
And here they come, Andrew Navarro, the leader, back through the tribal here at the virtual Talladega Super Speedway. Another lap of the board. Navarro, Kyler Wynn from Canada, our friend of the North. Dylan Jones in a Ford. Got a Chevrolet, a Ford top 3. Baker's in a Chevrolet 4th. That's Matthew Baker. Daniel Eberhardt III in the 90 machine in a 4th and 5th. Then you've got 3 Chevrolets with McCullough, Mollahan, Sheets. Logan York in a Ford in the 019 and Jordan in a Chevrolet, your top 10. That's the manufacturers. That's the way it stands. 15 laps to go. As right now we are thinking everyone is clean to go to the finish. Gotta wonder though, they gotta be antsy as here comes that second pack trying to run down and catch these guys, but all the while it is Andrew Navarro still leading the way, bottom of the racetrack, hugging that line as they work their way again out of turn number 3 and 4, Jason.
Yeah, and they're starting to gain a little bit here, Wesley. That 6th spot right now is held by John Mollahan there, and he is catching this group just a little bit with this pack. Remember, the more trucks you have, the better you're going to be. But the problem with having more trucks in a pack at single file is you have to rely on every single driver. You have that 5-truck pack up in front of them, that first group. That's less trucks you have to worry about, so they can get more organized a little bit quicker if something were to happen compared to this rear pack. But with the obviously having more trucks behind them, they're catching them a little bit. That gap was at most 4.6. It's down to 3.3.
All this happening again as they work their way back down into turn number 3 and 4. Here we go. Got more drivers coming onto pit lane. Look at this, Jason. Oh my, they're on the brakes, they're on the binders. We do got guys pitting again. I told you I didn't think they could go the distance. Here they come, money stop with under 15 laps to go.
Oh boy, that's crazy. I really thought they were going to be able to make it the complete distance, but I guess not. So they're going to be pitting again this time. I guess that the Andrew Navarro group-led drivers probably wanted to leapfrog them and get out there first, and they are going to have a very clean execution. But here they go. They want to make sure. Oh no! And Navarro turns one of the drivers coming out of the pits. That was Matthew Baker in the number 5 machine, so something of a miss right there. Navarro trying to get up to speed, Baker trying to file in line with the both of them. racing incident, but that might hinder this group just a little bit, but they get organized as they hit the back straightaway and come through the pit exit line.
We'll keep an eye on that now as here comes more dry pit lane. As we mentioned now, the front pack with Ward, York, Mullahan, Thompson, all these drivers that we mentioned now having to pit, Jason. I was kind of thinking to myself, 50% fuel capacity, that cuts half the distance of what they could normally run. And literally, this just makes it either bunch everyone up in one big pack, but since they're pitting again separate, you're just literally widening out the interval of everybody around the speedway in small forms.
Yeah, definitely, no doubt about it, and I'm just really surprised they actually had to pit again, but obviously this is going to shake up this race just a little bit. I would expect that first group is probably going to maintain the lead here once this second round of green flag pit stops does go through, just because they pitted first. But again, anything is possible, and a caution right now would shake this up big time here late in the race.
I think there's some people on the track that are saying, yes, please, Jason, let's have one. There's other people, of course, like Harrison Whitehead, that are like, no, keep it green. We're closing in on 10 laps to go. This is, by the way, round number 1 of what is the new Wednesday night series during the winter months with the FEG PC Leagues and Events. If you'd like to become a member or know more details about their programs, go to FEG PC Leagues and Events on Facebook and click on the join button. This is the Monday, this is the FEG PC Wild Wednesday Money Racing Series. That's what it's entitled. Round 1, Talladega. Next week, we're going to Daytona. And we got trouble. Look out, number 7. Hold on, Dalton. Hold on, they're spinning, they're crashing the 27 of Mills. This is in the top 10 of the pit lane. And we're not under caution though, Jason, we stay green.
No yellow due to it being under the racing surface, and we got trucks stopped on the pit lane. That's the number 7 machine right in front of the 27. I believe that might have been Danny Barnes possibly, who's backing up, possibly not to. It is Danny Barnes right there in that number 7 machine. And Wesley, we talked about it. It is tough getting to pit road, and we've seen incidents time and time again in the real and sim racing world where you try to get to pit road, you fan out big time, and you end up having an issue just like that. And that's definitely going to hinder their race. They're going to need a caution for sure.
And by the way, no caution. 10 laps to go. Dalton is now the new leader amongst all this chaos and mayhem. But now Dalton and Miller and Allen, they're all coming down to the pit lane. Brandon Broadfoot is now the new man to lead the way in the number 10. And he is watching a battle happen on the bottom of the racetrack. Look at the replay here. This is the replay of what just happened that we saw where they were wrecking entering pit road. And again, as Jason said, the reason why no caution was thrown is because this happened below the bottom of the racing groove. Wow, Barnes and everyone on the checkup there.
Yeah, big moment coming onto pit road. You see the 7 of Barnes trying to get stopped, but the 77 of Harrison Whitehead just taps him in the left rear enough to send him around. And pretty much every single driver that was in that group on pit road that I saw once Barnes came out of the box, Wesley, was pretty much overshooting their box. They all had to back up. And now obviously this race has been shaken up big time by that, but Brandon Broadfoot out front still waiting this out, and he is the last car that hasn't pit besides Michael McLean in that number 8 Lucas Oil machine that's listed as the 3. He pitted on lap 16. Brandon Broadfoot on lap 14. You see those cars finally coming out of the pits that were involved in that wreck just before. But this is the battle which will be for the race lead in just a handful of laps. Baker blocks Navarro. Navarro's going to give him the shot at it too. Gets him a little bit loose. This back right here of trucks going to be for the race lead here in just a few moments.
Time running out. We're now in single digits as they work their way back into the corner again. It's Brandon Broadfoot, the leader, followed by the machine of Matthew Baker. Kenneth McCullough sits in the number 3 spot. Andrew Navarro 4th. Jason McCullough, top 5. Kyle Wynn now back up to 5th. Here's the battle. There's the pack for the win. Working off turn 4 through the tribal. 7 to go at Talladega. Broadfoot the leader back into 1.
I think Broadfoot's just trying to save as much fuel as he can. Wesley probably hoping for a yellow flag, but even if that happens, he's going to have to pit. Everybody else doesn't really have to. So he's trying some sort of strategy that is just completely out in left field. But this pack behind him starting to catch him. It was 9 seconds. Now it's 5 seconds the gap from the 10 back to the 42 as they enter 3 and 4.
Well, there was a time where this race definitely was very widely watching, thanks to almost 40 people that are tuning in, ready for the finish of this thing. Here comes the trucks now, dropping in. Brandon Broadfoot, one of the NASCAR regulars, dropping onto pit road. He cannot go to the finish. He will retire and give the lead right back now to the number 5 of Matthew Baker. As Broadfoot on the pit lane, Baker crosses the line. He's got to deal with McCullough. 7 to go, 6 to go at Talladega, back to turn 1.
And now this is going to be the battle for the race win. 7 trucks under a blanket separated by no more than 0.2 of a second here as we go to the main battle on the racetrack for the race lead. 5.5 laps to go. Baker, Wynn, they're going to hold the top spots right now on the bottom and the top of the racetrack there as they enter 3.
All this happening now as they work into the corner now, side by side. They're going to go see-do through the corner into 3 and 4. Here comes the pole machine. McCullough with a shot to the tailgate of Baker. Baker got loose on the double yellow line. This opens up the outside lane. Here comes the 60-82. This is Wynn, our friend of the North from Canada. Tyler Wynn to the lead. He battles back. Navarro on the outside as they work into turn number 1. 7, 8 trucks in this pack. So 5 to go at Talladega. We're not done yet in the turn number 1.
Oh, and Navarro gets a nice shot from Kyler Wynn. They got a little bit loose going into 1 and 2. This is going to create a huge momentum-based run on the top side, led by that number 11 machine on the top of Dylan Jones. As they work into 3, Navarro got really loose, and as they enter the corner, the bottom starts to prevail, and Dylan Jones going to fall back behind Matthew Baker.
Andrew Navarro back to the lead. Wynn pushed back to second. Jones the third. Anybody in that 7-truck tandem could win this race. Of course, right now from Navarro to Sheets. 4 laps to go. 2 by 2 by 2 by 1. Here comes now the machine of Wynn looking at Navarro for the lead into 1.
And down into the corner through 1 and 2. Navarro has a great run with that number 82 of Kyler Wynn again down this back straightaway, but this is just a game of chess. It is mind games. Wynn gets a little loose with a push from Matthew Baker down the Alabama gang. Super stretch coming to 3 to go as they enter 3.
All this going on as they work their way back to the corner. Look at them slicing and dicing. They're not done yet. They still stay 2 by 2 by 2. They go below the double yellow line. Here they got below the line. Navarro had to throw the block. He had to go after Jones and win it. The sun puts up the door down to the outside lane. Here comes the 11 machine. Jones outside. He's in the 11 on the ticker. 28 and sideways in the back of the pack as they come to the line. Oh my, the 82 of Wynn. Almost from the penthouse to the outhouse. That 7-truck pack. He loses ground with the leader. Jones, the new leader, into 2.
And here comes Kenneth McCullough. He's got the run on the top side with Jason McCullough on the top side. They're going to go to the race lead. Andrew Navarro nowhere to go on that bottom side with the number 11 of Dylan Jones as they hit the back straightaway. Coming to 2 to go. They're all sideways almost down the back straightaway from all the pushing and shoving. Top side prevailing. They might jump down, but that Matthew Baker machine has a side door full of Dylan Jones exiting 4.
McCullough across Baker Jones. It sounds like a law firm, but that's it's down below the bottom. The number 8 machine. He stays to the bottom of the racetrack below the double yellow line. We stay green flag, no caution. McCullough as McLean spins. In the 8 machine, we stay green. 2 to go as they're working 2.
2 laps to go. Baker trying to use something on the bottom, but he doesn't have any help. 3 wide battling for second, and here comes the top of Dylan Jones. Gonna go to the race lead. He has help from Premier Racing setup driver Andrew Navarro on the top of the racetrack, entering 3 for the second to last time.
McCullough, Jones, McCullough, Navarro, Sheets, top 5 tighter than a lid on a pickle jar. They come storming out of the tribal, and they're ready. trouble. McCullough's in the fence. We got him.
Caution!
Caution is out. I don't think this race is over. We might be going to overtime. Unless they're gonna, yes it is. Yellow flag. This is overtime. Overtime at Talladega. This is exactly what the Dr. Win tonight Super Speedway Series. Oh my goodness, first race. Thought it was going to go flag to flag, Jason. We're going to over here as they were coming to the white flag. And here is a look at what happened to cause it.
Yeah, we're going to take a look here at the LSRTV replay. You're going to see right here, the bottom side, that's the number 03 machine. Just gets a shot hard into the wall right there with that number 11 machine. And oh, what a hard impact to that inside retaining wall. They come together once more because why not? It's Talladega. You have to make the wreck perfect, of course. And that Georgia Bulldogs machine and that Ryko machine are all torn up here as we're going to be going into our first of 2 attempts, if need be, at overtime.
Jason, my question is this, my friend. Do you pit? Do you pit now? Or do you stay where you're at right now? Do you try to possibly get on? We know how super speedway races, we know how tandems can be, but we also know you're going to have a 2-lap shootout with a possibility of another overtime, if need be, for green-white checker. Do you possibly come to the pits, take on new tires and fuel? We'll find out the verdict here in a moment.
I don't know. By the looks of it right now, I believe everybody, Andrew Navarro looking to take a peek, possibly. Andrew Navarro will stay out. And Andrew Navarro will stay out, but here comes the 38, Aubrey Thompson, J.R. Miller. They're into the pits this time. Maybe a couple others that are going to take on 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles possibly to get just a little bit more grip here. Brandon Broadfoot, another driver on pit road. No surprise that these guys, though, Wesley, are staying out because I think track position is going to mean everything right here.
Now, Charles, I've seen that the Ford Entertainment Group, by the way, that's what FEGPC stands for, if you like the more details, Ford Entertainment Group. Jason, Charles, they're saying that we have another race after this one. Are we doing twins? We're just broadcasting this series, so this is what we're live on tonight. They do have another FEGPC race after this one concludes. That is the late Wednesday Night Money series, and of course that is at 5 Eastern Time. However, we have other iRacing broadcasts to prepare for. We might possibly do a double, maybe a time or two later on, but right now we are just doing this first race. But yes, they will saddle up, partner Jason, for a late night Wednesday Night Money series later on this evening.
Yeah, and that should be a fun one probably for sure, but we still got this race to finish out. Remember, this is going to be our 1 of 2 attempts, if need be, at overtime. So if they do not make it back to the white flag here, they will go into their last attempt at an overtime finish. And I've been in this situation, Wesley, here at Talladega. It is tough not to be aggressive, but you also have to be smart about where you're making your moves, when you're making your moves, and so forth.
Going to be exciting and for fun entertainment, no doubt, watching how this all shakes out here. He's Jason Rockefeller. I am Wesley Outlet. Charles Wooten in the box. We welcome you to coverage of course, on behalf of the Ford Entertainment Group, FEG, PC, Custom.com. More information there is right now. We welcome you to Talladega, FEGCustomPC.com. I want to make sure I have the website correct. Talladega next week, Daytona. Jason, this has been entertaining. It's been fun. There's been a lot of strategy along the way. And what do you know? I'll come to the end. Let's get a caution and let's go for overtime.
Yep, it's going to be an interesting one to say the least here. And I believe the pace car sedan has the lights turned out, and we're going to have ourselves an interesting restart. And, by the way, one of the rules here in the FEGPC series is that on these super speedways, there is no 3 wide allowed on the first lap of an initial start or restart here in this series. But the final 10 laps are excluded from that rule, so we're going to be seeing guys probably ducking out of line 3 wide here, Wesley, trying to get around these 2 race leaders of Andrew Navarro and Joshua McCullough possibly.
So what you're trying to say is overtime, it's all fair game, right, Jason?
Oh yeah, fair game. It don't matter, bro. You got to go to the front. You got to get her done. Like Larry the Cable Guy says, man, you got $100, $100, $50, $50 on the line. You got to try to go for the top 4 spots, but everybody wants those top 2 spots.
Watch all this happening, no doubt about it, as we work our way for a start to bring this one back to the restart here. The lights off on the pace car, and the leader right now is going to be Andrew Navarro, Jason McCullough in the front row, David Sheets, Kyler Wynn, my apologies, Kyler Wynn, friend of the North from Canada, Matthew Baker, Donald Gray, row 3, Joey Allen, Richard Elliott, Harrison Whitehead, Justin Mills, right down the top 10 as the field gets ready to make their way back inside the Geico restart zone, ready to settle it out here in the Wednesday Super Speedway Money Series. Wild Wednesday, round 1 for the FEG Customs PC.com. Trucks at Talladega, here they come. 2 by 2 by 2, they're gonna do-si-do side by side, get them back up to speed for another lap, up to full song when they come for the white flag. Who will win? Back underway is right now McCullough with the jump. He's got a punt there from Sheets, and they're sideways. Sheets go spinning. There's trouble. They're wrecking. 5, 6 trucks turned and scattered, and we're under yellow flag. We'll go to overtime number 2. Oh my goodness.
Not what you wanted to see at all, Wesley, but that is not an uncommon thing to happen here at a super speedway on an overtime finish here at Talladega. It all started when you saw one driver get shot at a line. They tried to file back in line, and then all heck broke loose once they reached turn number 1.
We're ready to see a replay of it. This is on board with us, the number 2 machine. Oh my goodness. Nowhere to go. And I'll be honest with you, Jason, I didn't think it would, you know, they weren't even up to speed yet when they got littered going into the turn 1.
Well, I tell you what, it doesn't surprise me because I've been a part of this in these 35 lap events, not here in the FEG PC series, but I know how it is on official stuff because I've been in this scenario where we had an overtime restart. We would have something like this. It all really just happens. One guy pushes another guy wrong, somebody gets in a door, somebody tries to cut somebody off, goes 3 wide, etc. There's so many possibilities that could create a wreck like this, and oh my goodness, that had to have taken out probably half the field if I had to imagine, and a lot of trucks have a lot of damage. Remember, this truck got a recent damage model just a couple months ago, and boy oh boy, all the parts pieces of these trucks went flying. And I tell you what, the guy who probably got out of that with luck on his side was Andrew Navarro, because he almost got turned, was sideways entering 1, but was able to save it in that 42 truck.
Well, you saw the end result of what just happened, and again, these drivers were not even up to speed when we had that calamity. And again, this will set up our second overtime, 2 attempts at an overtime. Jason, I got to be thinking about this, man. You add on the fuel capacity. They pitted it around 15 laps ago. A lot of them did. I'm seeing some trucks coming down to the pit lane, either damaged or taking on, you know, some time to get fixed. Could they possibly also be taking on fuel? Are they running out of fuel?
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
now going to double overtime.
Yeah, you're seeing Andrew Navarro. He's going to take fuel only, and he is out and away from his box. And remember, these guys probably only had enough fuel to make it 1 overtime finish, not 2. So that's why you're seeing some of these drivers like Andrew Navarro and others come to pit road to take on some Sunoco Racing fuel.
Where's the 82 pace car trying to catch the field? What do you do, 82? Where do you go? If you're Kyler Wynn, you're going to stay in the lead. Friend of the North from Canada. Sim Action Chevrolet leading the way. One of the drivers of the Road to Pro. By the way, you know, the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifiers used to be broadcast. Jason, you and Terry Radford called many of those events on Thursday night for the Road to Pro eNASCAR Series.
Yeah, always a fun time for sure, Wesley, obviously, and it was a really interesting Road to Pro qualifying series this year for sure, obviously. Very interesting, and obviously contenders have been, or the contender series rather, has been heating up big time. Same thing with the college series as well. Those both happen on Tuesday nights. Obviously, Dover, the next one for the eNASCAR Contender Series. To see who makes it, top 20 will go to the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series for 2024, and that's going to be exciting to see for sure. We still got a race here to finish up. Some of these eNASCAR guys, they have a lot of experience. You've seen Kyler win, one of those drivers out front. You see, obviously, Daniel Eberhardt, he's down in 13th. A couple other guys. Andrew Navarro won a few races this year as well. These guys have experience. They know what they're doing, but they got to beat a very, very stout field here for one more time here in overtime.
Ready to see how it all shakes up as, again, as we mentioned, we will be going into, if you will, double overtime in this event. And, we were kind of chatting about some of the cool things that are coming up here soon on LSRTV. And one of those things, Jason, that we kind of mentioned was those three major iRacing series that we cover. One of those are of course, the Road to Pro. The Thursday night, then we've got the World of Outlaw Threatmaster Sprint Car Series presented by iRacing. That's another one that we're really looking forward to be broadcasting soon on LSRTV. Some other events that will also be coming soon is, of course, the events that we mentioned with the Butt Kicker World of Outlaw Late Model Series, and then, of course, the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifiers, all during the winter months. And, of course, got a lot of things planned for your home for sim racing, and we're excited for season number 8 of the FEG Custom PC.com Wednesday Night Money Super Speedway Series to also now be a part of the ride. I don't want to say as a business, and they're part of the LSRTV family, and we look forward to definitely giving them all a great experience on your home for sim racing this season.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And I mean, this was the first time I had heard about the FEG PC series, really, until we got the information, and now we're calling this stuff. And this is very cool. So obviously, you want to get signed up, you go to their Facebook page, like you said, Wesley. This has been some great racing, probably. And the great thing is, it's only 35 laps. If you're a regular iRacing driver that runs the stock cars and obviously, you know that 35 laps is usually an official fixed setup race. And this is a fixed setup, obviously. Right. Everybody's got the same stuff, a little bit of an entry fee, and then you can go compete for some big cash prizes. And if you compete all the way towards the end of the year, you could be sitting in a whole lot of money by the end of the year.
Well, we'll see how all of this shakes down as we're ready to go now for a second attempt at overtime here for round 1 in Talladega. This is the final attempt. Wreckers or checkers, white flag. Race is official. They wreck before the white. We'll go back to the time of the caution and sort out the rundown. Green flag back out. Kyler Wynn inside. Brings the team up to speed. He's on the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes now Donald Ray. That's a name we haven't mentioned a lot until now. He's up in the battle. Justin Mills. Char Miller now up there. They're trying to go 3 wide as they work the back straightaway. They're 2 by 2, but not for long, Jason.
And here comes Andrew Navarro trying to make that third lane work all the way up at the top of the racetrack. Got a little bit of help behind him there. They're going to be 3 by 3 by 3 for the lead going into 3 and 4 for the second to last time. And Daniel Eberhardt all over the back bumper of the 42. Sideways, Kyler Wynn gets turned in front of the field. Creates calamity. Big wrecking down the front straightaway. We stay green. This race will be official. Oh, and it's going to come into a yellow. Caution is out. And that means Andrew Navarro looks like he's going to be your race winner, Wesley.
And they tried so hard, I believe, to try to keep the green line on, but those trucks started scattering through turn number 4, entering the tri-oval, entering the grass onto the pit lane. They had no choice but to throw the yellow flag. And then the 38 machine we saw of Aubrey Thompson got turned to the flag stand. just below the safer barrier at the start-finish line. And now you see the pace cars scampering to catch the 42 of Andrew Navarro. And it looks like Andrew Navarro is going to win round number 1 of a wild one here tonight at Talladega. Oh my goodness, wow.
What a finish, by far an exciting race. I know it's not going to end up being green like the fans and us up here in the booth wanted, but you got to admit, Wesley, and I know Charles is probably sitting here watching, probably his jaw dropped with a Red Bull in his hand, saying, man, what did we just watch? That was some exciting racing there, those last handful of laps, and I can say I'm pretty satisfied here from the FEG PC series.
Behind the pace car, Andrew Navarro will work his way down to the start-finish line. He will take the checkered flag. He will be the winner for round number 1 here to lock in season number 8 of the new FEG Ford Entertainment Group CustomPC.com Wednesday Night Money Super Speedway Series. Here comes the 42. Another one of those guys that you mentioned from Toyota and Road to Pro. Welcome to Victory Lane. It's been a while. This is a guy we watched grow and win for a long time. Andrew Navarro wins round 1 at Talladega. What a wild one, Jason. Listen, this race was calm, cool, collective. It did have its exciting moments, intense racing. But as it got down to the nitty-gritty of things, man, what a crazy start. We kind of figured, you figure overtime finishes is in the climax of the race, and that's what we got, brother.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. That is what we got, absolutely. And Andrew Navarro did a great job at keeping his head on a swivel there those last couple laps. And you think about it, Wesley, he restarted in the middle of the pack. He started 14 positions back at first. He started around 15th for the initial start of the race. He was about right there when they went back green. He went 3 wide, pulled to the outside, had help from fellow eNASCAR driver Daniel Eberhardt, and he wins here tonight at Talladega. An exciting finish here.
Oh boy, here you see a little help there as it looks like Andrew Navarro trying to give a little push there to Kyler Wynn to at least let the sim motion, I think I said sim action, my apologies, sim motion 82 at least cross the finish line. Ain't that a courtesy of respect? How about that, man? That's mad props.
Yeah, well, you know, as Lightning McQueen would say, it's just an empty cup. It's just an empty cup, like Lightning McQueen would say. But hey, Andrew Navarro, great job here tonight. And boy, Wesley, what a race we had for sure here tonight at Talladega.
Oh, gonna be fun. Here's your result. Rain, of course, watching that go on. Tough break for Clifford. We'll see what he does in the NASCAR Click It RV FIG Series later on tonight. He'll finish 24th. Kenneth McCullough Jr., the pole machine, multiple laps down in 25th. John Mollahan, Dylan Jones, Michael McLean, Drew Richmond. The rundown of 29 trucks. Let's take a look real quickly at the Virginia811.com Dig with Care caution race summary. 3 cautions, 7 laps all at the end. 21 lead changes. Count it, Jason. 21 lead changes in just almost 40 laps.
I think the Wood brothers would be proud with that number.
43 laps to be exact. Andrew Navarro picking up the win. We'll holler at the Floridian when we come back. This is coverage of course, the FEG PC Wild Wednesday Super Speedway Money Series from Talladega iRacing on LSRTV. The old man had to catch up from behind. I had to go put my dentures back in and somehow find out how to get the right Discord channel. Welcome back to coverage of iRacing with the FEG PC Buddy Super Speedway Series. Jason Rockefeller, Wesley Outlet here with you. And now we've got our top 3 drivers on the broadcast in the podium box ready to go. And let's catch up with third place man, Richard Elliott. Richard, what a crazy event. Obviously, we're going to see about 8 more weeks of this stuff. I think just the product of what super speedway racing is. You'll finish third on the podium. Survival, I believe, is key here tonight.
Yeah, it was. And I guarantee you'll see more of this through the next 7 races and the championship. It's just was in a good spot, got spun out, went in, fixed damage, came out behind Daniel and Andrew, and I knew once they jumped up, we were going to try to go to the front. There's two better guys to get behind to go on that last lap.
And Richard, obviously that being said too, with the 2 attempts at overtime here tonight, you guys were wrecking there, coming to the green flag on the initial one. Then the second one, you guys got back to turns 3 and 4, and all heck broke loose there. You surprised by the events though that happened in those first 2 overtimes?
Nah, it is kind of the way the speedway racing's been, and I was telling the guys before we came on, this is way, way different than running A Opens. It's a whole different mentality. Not much give and take, very little give a lot of times. So it's just hard racing, and you got to be lucky some and put yourself in a good position at the end.
Well, Richard, we definitely enjoyed it, buddy. Before we let you go, third on the podium, thank your sponsors, and we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday night.
All right. Big shout out to John Ward, who started Hyper Motorsports, that brought me on along with some other guys. He's teaching us some of the ins and outs of all this. All my teammates, Danny, Justin, Adam, Alejandro, Aubrey, Bobby, Bradley, and Heath. We're all working together. We're learning. Won't be long. We'll be up there all the time.
Third place tonight for a course driver. They are the number 02, Richard Elliott. His Chevrolet will finish third. Daniel Eberhardt the third. Ford, number 9, he'll finish second. Daniel, your take of this race to kick things off for the Super Speedway Bunny Series for FEG PC at Talladega.
Oh yeah, crap shoot at the end. That's all it's about in these super speedway racing. You got to get hooked up with a great driver like Andrew Navarro, and the old D3 Ford F-150 was rolling. That cheated up motor was getting it, boy, down that back straightaway. We were rolling, me, Richard, and Andrew. We were trying to dig, and it was just a crazy finish at the end. I was praying for a yellow. I was screaming, "Throw the yellow, Barney, throw it!" as we were coming to the tri-oval there.
And Daniel, obviously, congratulations on finishing P2, man. Was that your plan right there on that last restart to jump up to the outside? You, obviously, and the other 2 guys to go up to the top lane, make it 3 wide, and obviously we know that top lane off the corners, off 2 and off 4, has a lot of momentum, and you guys had a really good run. Was that the plan?
Oh, heck yeah. The BB pipe in front of me, he was flowing. Andrew Navarro had it down, and I was rolling with him. We were going to the front right there, so all the kudos to Andrew for making the moves. I was just going to be his little wingman right there with the little Ford emblem all up his ass.
All right, well, we definitely apologize the expletive of the culo, but definitely, man, for sure, this is going to be a fun Super Speedway Series every Friday night, or Wednesday night, isn't it, Daniel?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, also thank you guys for coming on board. Thank you for Jeffrey Ford putting this on FEG PC. If anybody out there's watching, come on, join us, get into the madness. And thank you to my hot ass wife who's sitting in the other room and lets me do this every night. Y'all have a good night.
And forward of Daniel Eberhardt III, and very well spoken. Speaks his mind, finishes second. I love it. Andrew Navarro, brother, we go all the way back to the COVID days. We're still alive. You finish in the number 1 spot, brother, and man, you have come such a long way since I remember you running Swag and the Outlaw Super Late Model Series and all the crazy shenanigans, Nazareth, things that used to be around back in the day, brother. What a big win for you. Road to Pro number 42 in Victory Lane. Congrats to you tonight at Talladega. Your take of this race and the strategy to be there at the end.
Yeah, I don't really know what the strategy was at the end, to be completely honest. We just kind of... I was hoping it would just end that first yellow. I didn't have enough fuel. I pit with Daniel, and then I mean, all three of our cars, Elliot and Daniel, we rolled the top. I think we were going to get at least 2 of us clear on the last lap, even if they didn't wreck. But they wrecked, so that was way better than having to be a sitting duck on that white flag. So happy with the result.
And Andrew, obviously, congratulations on the win here tonight, man. What do you think makes this series in particular so fun compared to most here? Is it competing for the money? Is it the drivers? What is it that makes this series so fun? Because you guys put on one heck of a show here tonight for us for our first time viewing this.
Yeah, it's I definitely think it's probably the money. Everybody wants to win money. Obviously, everybody loves money. We also had a pretty good race. We actually had different strategies, which we hadn't had in a while. Some people went long, some people went short on pit stops. So overall, really fun. Yeah.
Man, I'm looking at some information, Andrew. Obviously, it's great to catch up again with you, bud. It's been a while since I've even called one of your iRacing events. I want to say it's back to the LSRTV Super Late Model Invitational that I did, where you ran that and was racing with guys like Parker Retzlaff, who, by the way, runs ARCA now. Alex McCollum, one of the top stars in Legend Cars. Ryan Matthews, who runs at Old Dominion and Langley Speedway. Max Cookson, who's kicking butt up in the Northeast at Oxford Plains in the Alan Kowicki Driver Development Program. Trayton Lapsovich, Pete Polini, Dylan Huffine, just some of the names that I can think of, man, that you've literally banged fenders with virtually. Man, your take of you building your own racing resume and obviously making you be a part of this series. It's not just about the money, is it?
I mean, yeah, I do like racing, but the money is definitely a big thing behind it. But yeah, overall, just love racing and having a good time. And I'm doing a lot better stuff being on here than being out on the streets, so I'll take it. So yeah.
Now, are you still in Florida?
Yeah.
Still in Florida. There you go. Well, brother, congratulations to you, man. Before I let you go, Andrew, give us your sponsors.
Yeah, I'd like to thank CheatUpMotors.com, Martin Sports, Premier Racing Setups, everybody at Platinum Performance, Daniel for working with me, and Elliot for going with him while they were on the last lap, as well as Dylan and Kyler, and you guys for broadcasting, and Jeffrey for putting on the league.
Great catching up with you again, Andrew. Congratulations. We'll see you next Wednesday at Daytona.
Thank you.
We'll be at Daytona next Wednesday night for round number 2. Thanks again to all the great folks, Mr. Ford, and all the people with Ford Entertainment Group, the FEG, PCCustom.com, Wednesday night Super Speedway Bunny Series. Jason, this one did not disappoint, my friend. Your final take of this race as we'll wrap her up tonight.
Yeah, man, one heck of a race here tonight for sure. Obviously, the drivers put on one heck of a battle all race long. Boy, oh boy, this is definitely going to be one of my favorite things to do here during the racing offseason, is calling these guys on their virtual racing series here on the Super Speedway. Had a blast, and I can't wait for next week.
We'll be at Daytona next week. By the way, if you'd like to know more about the program, FEGPCCustoms.com, or go to FEG PC Leagues and Events to find out how you can be a part of the program, like Andrew Navarro, of course, and all the great other drivers as well. Thanks to everybody for joining us tonight. On behalf of iRacing on LSRTV, Rocket Racing Media, for Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, he handled the buttons. For Jason Rockefeller, this is Wesley Outland. Bon voyage, good night, God bless. It's on to Daytona next week for round 2 for the FEG PC Wednesday night Super Speedway Money Series, only, exclusively, Season 8 on your home for sim racing, iRacing on LSRTV. Good evening from Talladega.